Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you are watching this video right now. Today we will have a presentation about the topic the problem of online learning. This is the ninth presentation to fulfill the academic speaking assignment that's handled by Mr. Muhyiddin. And without any further ado, let's jump to the presentation. As usual, there are table of contents. There are four contents that I'm going to present to you guys today, and as usual, also this presentation will be divided into two parts. The first part will cover the first and the second part, and the second part will cover the rest of the presentation, including supporting data and conclusion and closing as well. So without any further ado, let's jump to the topic. Introduction. What are problems of online learning? So what is actually the problems of online learning? Actually, this topic has a similarity with the previous topic of my presentation, and that is the advantages and disadvantages of the presentation of the online learning. I'm sorry. And yeah, today I would like to bring the data that I've got in the past in that presentation to just to complete or to strengthen my argument in this presentation. What are problems of online learning? This is the data from Korean newspaper and Korean Association of Private University. The result of survey of private university presidents in South Korea. COVID-19 university damage. According to the students, there are 18.2 that thought that this COVID-19 decrease in international students number, and 79.5 thought that it is lack of governmental support measures, and 36.4 thought that it is low student satisfaction and protest, and 43.2 thought that it was additional expenditure and pressure on finance, and the rest of the students think that it is challenges of establishing online education and preparing class contents. So this is the some of problems of online learning, but as actually there are a lot of more, and I think I'll mention it like in the next few slides. So yeah, but this is what are the problems of online learning in Korea, and I think many nation or many country can relate to this kind of problems, because actually we do the actual activity when it comes to online learning. When it comes to offline learning, maybe we have the different method, maybe the teachers have a different method, but when it comes to online learning, most of us do the same thing. Maybe we learn through Gmeet, maybe we learn through Zoom meeting, maybe we learn through WhatsApp group or something like that. So basically we are doing the same thing. So I think most of us can relate to these kind of problems from Korea University survey. Data from recent research about online education. This is actually the positive side of online learning, and that is there are flexibility, there are wide range of tools, there are ease of use, there are usefulness, there are customization or the ability to personalize learning for students, there are innovation, EA, freedom to experiment with teaching practice, their accessibility from the platforms, materials, and resources, and there are engagement and enjoyment of pupils, and an improved relationship with pupils, increased autonomy, motivation, self-determination, self-regulation among learners, and some of them thought it was nothing, and some of students thought that they haven't had an experience with online or distant learning. So this is the data from Western research about online education. um, the surprising fact that most of the students thought and really feel that innovation or freedom to experiment with teaching practice is really uh, they experience in the process of online learning. So when it comes to offline learning, we tend to be just focus on one source, and that is from our teacher. But when it comes to online learning, we can explore so many sources from Google, from Wikipedia, from I don't know, Script, from or anything else, or any other websites that can provide useful information or useful journal to support our understanding about several topics. So yeah, so it is pretty surprising that most of the students thought that innovation or freedom to experiment with teaching practice is something they experienced so deeply in this kind of process of learning. Number two, or point number two, is factual examples. I'm not gonna like deep dive into this kind of point because actually I've mentioned this in my past presentation, so I hope that you guys who are watching this can take back to my old presentation and just learn through it and conclude yourself. I mean, come on, we all are grown up, right? So we have to be able to like gain more information ourselves and conclude and produce the data we get from ourselves to our own usefulness. Impact of online learning, this is the factual examples, is frustration, I'm sorry, and the second is lack of control from teachers. Actually, this is the bad side, one of the several two bad sides of online learning, especially in Indonesia, because Indonesia is not really advanced yet to the distribution of internet. Hi there, welcome back. It's me again, Baidillah, and today I would like to continue my presentation, and that is we have right to the third part, and that is supporting data. As I've promised you guys that I've provided several data, and this is from my last presentation actually, but it's not a problem because I think I still find it relevant to this topic of presentation. And this is the online learning. Just ignore this. This is not this doesn't have to be there. Let's focus on this online learning statistic. In this year of 2021, 60% of online students report that their online education helped them to improve their soft skill, and more than 6 million 6 million and 90 hundred 6 and 90 100 million. I don't know how to spell this nominals, I'm sorry guys. In the US, students take at least one of their courses online, and it turns out it helped them to increase their critical thinking up to 85%, where the skills most often cited as improved. So yeah, this is the several good sides of online learning, but don't forget that it is also has a negative side, and that is this is the data from Metropolitan program or I'm sorry, Brookings analysis of American Community Survey. This is to be very precise. The tracks with the highest level of poverty have the lowest levels of broadband adoption or the internet connection. from 2018 up to 5-year estimated. So this is the data from the Metropolitan Program that states that this year we've arrived to the highest level of broadband adoption, where we know that especially since the pandemic, online learning has become kind of trends in our nation, in our country, in Indonesia. So this is the data from Western, and I think it is kind of relevant to Indonesia. Because why? Because especially in Indonesia, we are a growing nation, so maybe it's actually worse in our position. But yeah, to be estimated, this is kind of data that we can imagine implied in Indonesia. And I think Indonesia still have a lot of things to improve, because let's just be real, guys. When it comes to education, Indonesia is like far from other country. So we need to fix a lot of things, not just from internet connection, not just from like the students or something like that, but it also happens to be the teachers or the system or the process of online learning itself. So how to solve the online learning problems? It actually I've been concluded in the conclusion. I've been mentioned it in the conclusion, I'm sorry. And nothing, and I'll guess let's just jump to that conclusion. This is the last part of the conversation. This presentation is kind of short, actually. I'm sorry for that, but I guess I like to make things short, because I don't want to waste your time. I know it doesn't. This presentation is kind of repetitive, because this topic is actually have been discussed in the last two presentation, be in the sixth presentation. So yeah, this kind of repetitive for me myself, actually. Conclusion: how to solve the problems of online learning. The first is increase support both student, and provide facilities to both student and teacher. This way, when we increase our this is increased support is for the government. Let me just emphasize this argument, because most of the abroad government, they take things, especially education, seriously. Like in Finland or Japanese, they do help the students, or they do really increase the support to the school, especially since the pandemic happened in 2019 or 2020, early of 2020, since the COVID-19 have spread like larger than before. And the second is provide facilities to both student and teacher. What kind of facilities? Basically the facilities to do the online learning, from the media, from the tools, from the smartphone, or maybe, I don't know, laptop, if it is possible. And you notice that you don't have to give away that kind of thing. If you think that it is a waste of money, you can just lend them something, maybe smartphones or laptop, to make them able to join the process of online learning. Because at the end of the day, education is really what matters to us. Because we know that in Arabic quotation, Shubanul Yawm Rijalul Ghad, which means that the youth today is the leader of tomorrow. And if our future leader hasn't had a good education, what will our nation be like in the future? Maybe in the 10 years ahead, or maybe 20 years ahead, or maybe like when Indonesia has reached their golden age, or in 2045. What kind of leader, what will we have if nowadays they can assess a good education? And in order to assess a good education, the support and the facilities is necessary for both student and teacher. And the last but not least is evaluating and learn together. This is important. Why is this important? Because when we just do something but not evaluate it, will be when something's bad happen, we won't fix it, and instead of fix it, we just still do the same mistakes over and over again. So it is important to us to evaluate or finding what's wrong with this process, of what's wrong with this kind of system, in order to, so when we spot the wrong side, we can fix it and we can be better in the next, maybe in the next learning process, and learn together. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And thank you very much for your nice and best attention to my presentation. Do you have any questions? Please drop your question in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up in my email. This is my email is goiswine@gmail.com. This is not my number actually. I prefer not sharing my number here, but yeah, if you just maybe have any business with me, you can hit me up in my emails, and inshallah I will reply as fast as possible when I have a spare time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for your nice and best attention to my presentation, and I do apologize if I have any mistakes. Maybe I mispronounce like several words, or I do many grammatical mistakes in my speaking. I do apologize, because at the end of the day I'm still learning, and I want to be better at speaking and writing, especially in grammatical sides, because I'm kind of weak about it. But yeah, let's learn together and be better, and be the best version of ourselves. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, and the last I say, see you next time in the next presentation, and bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.